Hi Scorpio, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol. Scorpio, this is going to be your mid-month July 2024 reading. And in today's reading, what we're going to start off with is we're going to look at what situation you're sitting in. This is a general reading, so, it may or may not resonate with you. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for a decision that you have to make. We're going to look for a struggle you're sitting in. Could be a pattern that's showing up in your life, and oftentimes we have that. And then when we've just established that, I'm going to look at, what is it that is impacting or driving this situation? And so what we need to do is we need to go and look at your shadow. And so this is what's sitting in your unconscious. These are the unhealed parts of us that are going to continue to wreak havoc on our life if we don't heal them. And so I'm going to look at what's coming up from your own shadow that is driving this issue so that you can begin to heal it. And so I'm going to ask in the third part for guidance from the tarot as to, how can you begin? And I use the word begin carefully here because we're just beginning here, because this is a process. The healing journey is a process, and a lot of us I know get really impatient with this because it takes a long time sometimes, but it's a process. And so I'm going to just get you in the right direction as to how you can begin to heal this. And I'll also offer you some videos at the end from my other channel called Carol Cares. And in that channel, I have some really good videos that are specific to emotions and journaling and grounding. And that's what I'll offer you at the end. Now, when we get to the part about the shadow, I do want you to know that if you are unfamiliar with those two terms like shadow or shadow work, because that's basically what we're doing on this channel. It's a healing channel. I've left one video for you in my description box, and it's called my Powerful 4-Step Guide for Healing. And it is a video about facing your own shadow. It's one that I put together from my other channel. And it's a compilation of everything that I've learned on my own intensive healing journey that I've been on for a while now with my own healing coach. And I think that you'll find it very helpful if you need some more help with knowing what shadow work is and healing our stuff. And so we're going to start off with using the Tarot Grand Luxe, and then we're going to clarify it with the Rider-Waite deck. And so these have all been pre-shuffled right before I came on. So I do have some good news that I want to share with you. Some of you have been asking me about doing personal readings, and I wanted to really wait until I had my channel established and to put that out there. And so yeah, I'm ready to do it. I have a couple more things I have to do to set up my page, and I will be able to come on here with a video and give you the link for my personal readings if you're interested. There will be a discount offered for a couple of weeks, so if you catch that video, you'll know that the discount is on, and I'll take the video down when there's no more discount. So yeah, and let's begin then. We're going to ask for what situation you're in, Scorpio, whether it's an issue, pattern you're dealing with. I just need one card. Just have to turn around. That was already turned. Yeah, okay. Let's start. Oh, that one wanted to come out here. So you have the Four of Wands. Four of Wands wanted to come out for the situation you're dealing with. What's coming up from Scorpio's shadow here? That's going to shed some light on this Four of Wands for us. Well, you wanted two cards here. So you have the Queen of Wands in reverse. And you have the Knight of Swords. Interesting in reverse. Interesting combination. That's for your shadow. And let's ask for some advice from the tarot. The Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords. All right. As you can see, they're beautiful cards. Let's go to, and again, I've shuffled these, pre-shuffled them beforehand. So let's go to, give me some more information about this Four of Wands here. 2 or 3 cards for the Four of Wands. One on the floor. The 2 of Wands on the floor. Must be an important card. So far we have 2 wands for you, for what you're sitting with, Scorpio. You have the Star card. Always a nice card to come out. And the 10 of Swords. A tough one for you. All right, so how about the Shadow? How about the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Swords here? A few cards to clarify this. I have the Lover's card, the World card, and I'm just trying to think if I need one more. I'm going to keep that like that, and then we'll see if I need one more later. 7 of Swords, one that's fallen out. All right, so we have the 5 of Wands. You have quite a few cards. I can't, pinched my toe. The Knight of Wands. I have wheels underneath my, this is a story here. 2 of Swords. Wheels underneath my chair. Pinched my toe. 8 of Swords. I think I called this the 2 of Wands. 2 of Swords. I do that all the time. I apologize. And the 8 Strength card in reverse. So, you have quite a story there that, all right. We'll get to it. All right, Scorpio. Let's start off with the issue that you're dealing with. Well, you have the 4 of Wands to start off with. Oop. And this is a bit of people call it sometimes a marriage card, but I don't call it a marriage card. I call it it's a celebration card, what it is. So Wands, you have to understand what the suit of Wands is. So for me, like the suit of Wands is that taking our life into a purposeful direction, wanting to go into a certain direction. You're ready, you've started actually. So maybe there's a decision that you've made for yourself. You're putting yourself first. That is something that is purposeful when you start to put yourself first, and this is a decision I'm making for myself. And so the 4 of Wands comes out and says, maybe you're wanting to do that, but this card usually comes out when you've done that, where you've kind of stepped out. You've kind of stepped out, whatever the situation is, and you're kind of like, this is me. Here I am. This is a new me. I'm taking this new direction in my life, and that's where I am. Now, let's clarify what's going on here, because the 2 of Wands comes right underneath and right behind it. Now, it's interesting because in my head, I said to myself, well, here's a 4 of Wands, and now I have a 2, and I'm like, oh, what does that mean? The person's already stepped out here. Scorpio's already stepped out, but then I went, oh, but then you've stepped back in. So it's like something's happened here where, I don't know, maybe some fear has come up where you've kind of, you're stepping back, you're not really sure, some doubts maybe. But then there's something coming up here, some emotions, because when this Star card comes up, it's always a card about healing. But you see how this person is becoming very vulnerable, very naked, and dipping their toe into this water, and water is always about emotions. And so sometimes I'm going to say, this is what I'm hearing now. I'm seeing exactly what's happening with you now. You have decided on your own, this is what I want to do, and you've taken that step for yourself. And then all of a sudden, here's this step back here, this fear of something, because you've become visible. There's something you've done that's made you a bit more visible, and there's this fear. And the other thing that's set in here are these 10 of Swords. Well, this card right here represents somebody that's been done in by their mental energy. And someone that these swords right here, well, mental energy, these are our thoughts. And so I'm hearing here that, I'm sure you're hearing it too, all these thoughts that are running through your head like, who do you think you are? What are you doing? Why would you do this? You can't do this. All of these thoughts in your head that are just paralyzing you, that are just, that's why you've taken this step back, this Two of Wands, where it's just like, oh my God, I'm petrified now. I'm so scared. I have all these thoughts in my head, and so I'm not sure if this is what I should be doing. What, and because there's so many doubts here, and you're just spinning in your head about this. Now, we need to look at this card right here. We need to look at, where are these doubts, these fears, these I'm not good enough. Why are you doing this? You shouldn't do this. You're not allowed to do this. Where is that coming from? And that's what's coming. That's what's sitting in your shadow. Your shadow is, I'm going to say, I'm going to use the word haunting you right now. It is, and this is what happens. It comes up at the moments we do not want it to come up at. But these are because these are the things that need to be healed. Yes, you can do this. Yes, you will get back to this. But before you do, you've got to heal. You got to heal those thoughts, those thoughts patterns that are just keeping you spinning in your head. You have here a Queen of Wands in your shadow. We're going to your shadow now to find out where those thoughts came from. The Queen of Wands is, so the Queen is the feminine aspect to herself. And the feminine aspect to herself, and she's the wands. So she knows, she's all about purpose. She's all about creativity and authenticity. She knows what her purpose is, right? But she's blocked here. And so your purpose, your true purpose, and what you wanted to do when you were younger was blocked. And right behind it is the Knight of Swords. And the Knights in my deck are what I call my freedom fighters. It's an adolescent part of us that wants freedom to be authentic. That's all I want, is to be authentic. I want you to think of a teenager that wants the freedom to be them. And this is the sword here. And the sword is all about authenticity, right? So this particular adolescent, and maybe this happened when you were an adolescent because it's sitting in your shadow. So this is all your childhood stuff in your adolescence sitting here. So, and he's in reverse and he's blocked. He was blocked. So think of an adolescent that wants to do something. And so maybe there was something you wanted to do when you were younger and you were told, nope, can't do it. Not allowed to do it. Don't have the money for it. You're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're not, whatever it was. General reading, you were blocked from doing it. You weren't allowed to do it. And so I want you to think of this teenager that was told, no, not allowed to do it. Well, what do teens do? A couple options. They get angry. And if they're not allowed to get angry, if they're told to put that anger away, well, they're going to get depressed. Could be one or the other, or even both of them, right? And so I'm wondering here, maybe you're maybe you're starting to feel this depression coming up, this hopelessness coming up. Maybe your anger's brewing here, because you've got some emotions here that are coming up here. And so there's a part of you when you were younger that was told, that wanted to do something. Maybe you know what it is, maybe you didn't. And maybe you're just in general, you came from, I know I did, I came from a household where I was always told, no, you can't do this. And so I just gave up. I knew that I just couldn't do certain things. I was not allowed to. And not allowed to be you. To clarify that, you have the Lover's card here. And the Lover's card speaks of this it's a major arcana card. So you pay attention to this one because this is like a huge major influence on you when you were younger. So this talks about if you look at this card here, you have the masculine aspect to ourselves, and it's not about gender. It's about the masculine. We all have a masculine and a feminine side to ourselves. And this masculine is just looking forward. This is our conscious, looking forward. And the feminine here is our unconscious. And she's looking up towards a higher power here, and that's where she's going to get her intuition from, her guidance from. And so this is a joining. This Lover's card is a joining of these two. It's a very intimate card. It's a very vulnerable card. They're naked in this card. And so what I'm seeing here is that because you weren't allowed to take your life in the direction you wanted to go into when you were younger, when you were told no, you really lost, you lost your authentic self, and you also lost that connection with you, who you were. And that would have been, your intuition, your inner guidance, which is our feminine side. And you really lost that. You need two parts of you to be whole, and you really lost that connection with you. And the World card, to me, in this, it's in the shadow. When it comes in the shadow, it really speaks to me of hope. And so you really lost hope. You really lost connection with yourself and who you were. And so when you're trying right now to go out into the world and present this new you, let's say, or whatever it is the situation is for you, and you're making yourself visible to more people in whatever way that is. For me to come on this channel and make myself more visible, I hit the wall like you're hitting right now. I would turn on the camera, and all I could hear in my head was, you can't do this. You're not allowed to do this. And this incredible fear that would come up in my system. And so I'd turn the camera off, and I'd have to go back to the drawing board and start to work on some of these emotions and try to figure out, where is that message coming from? You can't do this. And this fear that's coming up. And so how are you going to start to heal these messages, or this part of you that got shut down? And how do you get your authenticity back? Well, the universe says, oh, this is a beautiful card. This is flowing just because of this card. You got the Seven of Swords here. This is how the universe wants you to heal this. The Seven of Swords is the card. It's called the Thief card. And if you look at this individual here, it's like he has these 5 swords in his hand, and he's stealing these swords, and he's got 2 more over there that he's thinking about, picking up. And in the Seven of Swords, you have to understand again swords energy, because you have the 10 of Swords here, and you have the Knight of Swords. So swords energy is talking about, these mental thoughts. So the universe wants you to become aware, first of all, of these swords, these mental thoughts that we talked about earlier. Wants you to become aware of what mental thoughts here have you stolen. It's called the Thief card. Stolen from others, and you've taken them on, right? So things like, maybe you were told, and these are the mental thoughts that are coming up for you right now. You're not good enough. Why are you doing this? You're not allowed to do this. Who do you think you are? So just become aware of, what are these thoughts? What are these thoughts that you tell yourself all the time that are haunting you right now? That's what the universe wants you to become aware of. That's the first thing. Remember, we do this in little steps, this journey. Little steps. You have 5 more cards here. That's a story about, how you're going to heal this. So how you're going to start to heal this. And here's the 5 of Wands is the first card. 5 of Wands talks about, it's called my ego conflict card. And this is where you can really beat yourself up and start to judge yourself by looking at other people. You're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're not pretty enough. you're not able to do this. Like, how are you? And this is how you need, what you need to become aware of. How are you comparing yourself to other people? Is there a part of you that once you started to become visible in whatever it was you were doing, is there a part of you that maybe compared yourself to other people? When I started this tarot channel, I went on, and I mean, I've been following tarot for a number of years now, but right before I started my channel, my ego made me go on and look at some tarot readers out there, and all I kept on hearing was, you can't read like them. You're not them. You'll never be able to do this. Well, of course I'm not going to read like them, and I'm not going to be like them because I'm not them. If you take any two tarot readers and you put them next to each other, they are completely different. You will never find two the same because we speak from our own experiences. And so this is what's happened with you, Scorpio, is that you're judging yourself in relation to other people. You know, you can easily get online, and that's what we do. We judge ourselves, right? Right behind it is the Knight of Wands here. You have another knight here. Here's the knight wants freedom. We said our knights want freedom to be themselves. Well, they want to take their life. This wand is about taking your life into a purposeful direction. You have a drive here. You know, and you got to remember that. You have a real drive here to take your life into this purposeful direction that's more, related to your own authenticity here. You also have a decision to make, right? You're caught up in your head here with these swords. In the universe, the tarot was saying, this has to be. You have to make this decision. I know you're sitting here almost like a frozen position here. And this is what this person is. They've put their blindfold on. They are not going to deal with what they need to deal with. But, look what's behind this individual. Look at the water that's flowing. Those are our emotions. Emotions are meant to flow. They're meant to flow here, right? But this is you all caught up in your head. All caught up in your head. And look what your emotions are doing. I want you to compare these two cards. Look at the water in the two cards, right? This is you all tied up in your head, needing to make this decision because there's emotions here that are meant to be felt. But here is you all tied up, and your emotions are kind of like in puddles, right? They're not flowing. So we need the emotions to start to flow. But first you have to become aware of what's in your head. And then the last card here, the Strength card comes in. This is going to get turned up right because you have the strength. You have the strength to go inwards. You have the strength to get back into your body because right now you are living so much in your head, all tied up in your head. Your ego self is keeping you all tied up in your head, but you have the strength to get out of your head and into your body. And so, Scorpio, I'm going to leave you with 2 videos on grounding, and that's going to teach you how to ground your mind because you have all this spinning going on, and then get back into your body so you can start to feel again. You can start to feel some of these emotions that you need to feel. And sometimes it's grief because you were stopped from doing something when you were younger and prevented from it. And so there's some anger that needs to be expressed maybe. Maybe you need to get angry at these people when you were younger for not letting you do or take your life in this direction you wanted to do. And behind that anger, because anger is a secondary emotion, behind that anger is always grief, right? Some real grief here that needs to take place. And sometimes some shame. But there's some emotions here that you need to feel, right? But the universe is just wanting you to take a little bit at a time right now. And that's getting in touch with, and that's grounding your mind, becoming aware of what you're telling yourself here. And I'll talk to you next month. Bye-bye.